Welcome. In this video, we have the angel reading and intuitive insights for the month of February. I'm going to share the theme for the month, and then we'll go through some of the intuitive insights coming up. I will touch on the astrology of the month and the key dates coming up. And I have angel cards for you and their guidance. So we'll go through that at the end. So let's start with the theme for the month. So when I was tuning into the theme for February, what was really coming up was emotional healing. So I think February will really be a key time for emotional healing. And I know I can hear you sighing and saying, not more emotional healing. No, please no. But don't worry, it doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be overwhelming. I know it sometimes can be, but it doesn't have to be. Emotional healing can be enjoyable. It can be even satisfying, dare I say, if you allow it. The key is allowing, and if you are open to it, then you can really transform on new levels. And I always say this, and it really is true, that it's the resistance that makes it painful. It's when we're resisting the emotions that are coming up, when we're resisting the feelings that are coming up, when we're pulling away from the healing work or even ignoring it altogether, then that can cause suffering, can cause intense suffering sometimes, because we're really avoiding what needs to be looked at. So if you're open, if you're willing to face it head on, then yes, it can be immensely satisfying, especially when you make a breakthrough. And I'll be talking more about this later, because it comes up in relation to some of the themes in astrology for the month. But just even setting that intention to be open, to be willing to accept what's there, to allow it, and that can sometimes just be all that's needed. So the numerology of the month February is the second month of the year, so it has the numerology of the number 2. 2 is all about balance. So it represents balance, union. It is about relationships, also about opportunity. And we'll talk more about this with the astrology dates, because of course we start the month with the 2-2 doorway on the 2nd of February, the 2nd of the 2nd. Other dates that are coming up, which I'll go through in a minute, we have on the 5th, the full moon in Leo. Also, we have the green comet, which I'll talk about, which will be coming up. On the 18th, we have the beginning of Pisces season. And on the 20th, we have the new moon in Pisces. And we will go through all this, and we will be also talking about the planets. And we have no planets in retrograde, which is brilliant. So we will have tremendous forward momentum this month. We have Mercury direct for the whole month. All the major planets are direct. So we'll have great momentum, and this will really propel us forward with that healing, that emotional healing that I mentioned. So let's start with the 2-2 doorway. So as I said, 2 represents balance. It's about opportunity. It's about union, about relationships. So we are focusing on balances, or on the balance, but also be aware of any imbalance that may be looking for correction. So there's that aspect to it as well. So 2 also can indicate a breakthrough. And I was talking a minute ago about emotional healing, and when we experience that breakthrough, it can be really satisfying. 2 can also be about new opportunities. So something new may present itself either on the 2-2 doorway or during the month as a whole. There's that opportunity for something new to come through. But when I talk about breakthroughs, it doesn't have to be in relation to emotional healing. It could be in relation to some other area of your life, but do be aware of those breakthroughs that are available to all of us during this month, because it's a great time to really grab onto those opportunities for breakthrough. So I was talking about the 5th, where we have the full moon in Leo, and we also have the green comet. Let's start with the full moon. So the full moon is in the sign of Leo, and it can be a time of heightened emotions, but the Leo energy, because it's a fire sign, It's associated with creativity, with leadership, with self-confidence. So we can lean on all those aspects of the Leo energy, and the full moon in Leo illuminates these traits for us, and it can inspire us to tap into our own inner strength and creativity. So it's an opportunity for us to take the lead in our lives. It can mean, asserting yourself in ways that maybe you haven't done before. It could be on a personal level or professional level. So taking note of opportunities where, and when I say assert yourself, always done through loving intent, always done through loving heart. I think a lot of people, when they feel into the Leo energy, that energy of leadership and self-assertion and self-confidence, it kind of tips the balance over to the masculine side, and it can be an unhealthy assertive energy. So always grounded in that feminine energy of balance, of love, of alignment, of intuition. So I think that's important to say. So the energy can also bring out our playful side, our fun-loving side, and it can encourage us to really just let loose and enjoy life. And if you are leaning into that energy of fun, of playfulness, really allow yourself to enjoy it, because sometimes we don't give ourselves permission to enjoy and just to be and just to have fun. So give yourself permission. So the other thing I want to mention is the Leo energy can lead towards drama. There can be attention-seeking behavior, so just be aware of that as well. But overall, this full moon in Leo is a time to embrace our individuality and let your true self shine. So the other thing that I mentioned was the green comet. So this comet, which is the name of it, is C/2022E3. So not a very nice name. So I think it's been nicknamed the Green Comet. So it's said to have an orbital period of 50,000 years. So it hasn't visited the solar system since the Stone Age, apparently. And so it's making its way around, and it's the first appearance in recorded history. So obviously we have this comet energy that's very vibrant around the full moon. We have it coming before the full moon, but on the 5th, it will be the peak of it. So I was thinking about this energy and how it hasn't come back around for 50,000 years. And I was really tuning into that ancestral energy, and I hadn't planned on it, but I was thinking that this would be a perfect opportunity to revisit, heal your ancestral lineage. And if you haven't experienced this yet, I'll make it available for the next few days. It really seems to fit with this energy of this green comet making its 50,000 year orbit. And of course, ancestral healing is important at any stage, but I really think this energy it allows us to tap into that ancestral healing, to align with it. So I'll leave a link below in the show notes and in the comments for Heal Your Ancestral Lineage if you feel drawn to that. So the next key date is the 18th, with the beginning of Pisces season. So Pisces it's the time of the year when, the Pisces season is all about the emotional Pisces energy. Pisces is a water sign, and it's associated with emotions, with intuition, with spirituality. So during Pisces season, you may find yourself feeling a little bit more introspective, a little bit more sensitive, but also more intuitive, more in tune with your own emotions, but the emotions of others as well. So remember, I talked about the theme for the month being emotional healing. So you may find that you are healing your own stuff, but there may be stuff coming up for others that you will be called to, especially if you're a healer or light worker, that you'll be called to help them to heal. So if that's something that you are feeling that is coming up for you, you can step into that role. You may already be doing it, but you may be being called to help out on new levels. Pisces is also associated with the archetype of the mystic. So during Pisces season, you may feel inspired to tap into that inner wisdom, that wisdom that all of us have within us that we often ignore or we don't realize it's there, and to look for meaning and purpose in your life. So this can be really insightful, really helpful for your journey to look at where you're going, your life purpose. And overall, this Pisces season energy will be a time of heightened intuition, heightened spiritual experiences and awareness, and a really great time if you are on the spiritual path to just really dive into your gifts as well. So to help you with that, the guardian angel of Pisces is Barachiel. We've spoken about Barachiel before, and you can call on Barachiel to help you to tap into that energy. And just to mention, like we talked about the emotional side of it, if you are feeling that you're getting overwhelmed, if you're getting overly sensitive or feeling vulnerable, it can be really helpful, as I said, to call on Barachiel to help you. And to also take time for yourself, take time away from being around people, just take time in isolation. It doesn't have to be long, just for, recharging, resetting and realigning your energy. So yeah, listen to your inner voice, listen to what you need, and be open to the spiritual and the emotional dimensions of life. It's all good. So then following that, we have the new moon in Pisces on the 20th. So the new moon in Pisces it's about self-discovery, it's about healing, it's about inner growth, and you may feel drawn to engage in spiritual practices during this new moon, activities that will help you to connect with your inner self and to explore your emotions in more depth if that's something you're being called to do. And if you're doing this work with Barachiel, you can ask Barachiel to help you to hold better boundaries and to stay spiritually protected. And that will really help your energy and your energy levels, but also setting up those boundaries is going to be really helpful, especially for empaths and those who are highly sensitive. So the other side of this new moon with the Pisces energy is that it can be dreamy, it can be imaginative, and it can encourage us to tap into our creativity and really let our minds wander. So it can be a time for daydreaming, for just seeing what comes up. It can be a time for creating something. It could be through art or through dance or through song or whatever it is you feel drawn to do. And if you are leaning into that, you may find new things opening up for you, new experiences, new aspects of your creativity that maybe you didn't know about. But again, there's that aspect of when we open up to the creative side of ourselves, we allow for that expression to come through us. And it can help us to open up spiritually as well, because often the creative side is opening up to our intuition and to those inner aspects that maybe we haven't been ignoring, or maybe we haven't been nurturing because we've been all up in our head and focusing on the mental aspects through our jobs, through just thinking about our to-do list and all the things we have to do and the busyness of life. So taking time out for creativity can be really enjoyable. And the new moon energy really fosters that as well. And as I mentioned, we have Mercury direct for the whole month. All the major planets are direct. So we have that forward momentum. So it's really going to carry us forward and nothing will be holding you back. You can use this energy to propel yourself forward and really lean into it. So yeah, it's a positive month in terms of healing and that forward momentum. So we're going to be using our angel cards. I've already picked the cards, so I'll go through the guidance that they offer. So this card is the first one, which is Raphael's suite of soul purpose angels. So this is Raphael, and Raphael is the ruler of the seraphim, and this is the master card for working with the seraphim creation angels. So the guidance is that Raphael's card denotes a highly spiritual life path. So Raphael invites you to allow your spine to become a vehicle for seraphim energy, cosmic spirit that emanates in columns of crystalline spirals from the stars. So you can lean into this energy to access this energy of the seraphim and to really open up on new dimensions to your spiritual growth and spiritual development. So Raphael is such a beautiful energy, and I really encourage anybody who is working with their spiritual development to call on Raphael and the Holy Seraphim to guide you and to help you. And as I said, to tune in to your intuitive side as well. So a really beautiful card to work with during this month. The second card that came up, this is also from Raphael's suite of soul purpose angels, and this card is Raguel. So this is the guardian angel of spiritual protection or perception, and Raguel is this card is about finding or keeping the simplicity of spiritual truth. So Raguel aids perception of your own spiritual truth, portrayed as pure, white, upright column of radiating light. From the creator's cloud of knowing, Raguel brings a drift of white feathers to surround you. So spiritual perception, so leaning into the energy of Raguel to really open up spiritually and to open up to spiritual truth and really to find that within you. So hopefully you can see that card. The sun's coming through, so I'm just going to make sure that you can see the beautiful imagery on that card. I'll hold it a little bit closer. So Raguel is a beautiful angel to work with, particularly on the new moon or the full moon. It'd be a great time to work with Raguel. And then the third card is from the suite of Sacred Hollows Light Tools. So this card is Butterfly and Dragonfly Mandala. So this is the card of psychic and spiritual development and transformation. And the two elemental winged creatures, the butterfly and the dragonfly, they appear on stone glyphs dating back over 25,000 years. Both have power of air, which is breath of life, in common, offering to help expand your inner or outer horizons. So bringing blue, violet, and mauve light vibrations, they clarify thought processes, build spiritual consciousness and awareness. So an opportunity to develop your spiritual gifts, your psychic abilities, and you can work with the butterfly and dragonfly mandala to help you to open up spiritually on new levels. So really positive opportunities to work with the angels and to work with your spiritual side. We have that emotional and sensitive Pisces energy that will also be supporting you as well. And of course, that energy of emotional healing, which will bring tremendous release for some. And I think it's really going to help us to step onto the next level of our progression or our ascension. So that's the overall theme for February. Remember, if you're drawn to working with the energy of your ancestors, I'll leave a link to heal your ancestral lineage below. And yeah, I'll make it available for the next few days and you can get access to it. So thank you. Remember to subscribe and you can get all of the latest videos first. And I will see you very soon for the next episode. Bye bye.